Okay, so we're going to look at Chapter 17, Section 9 today, carboxylic acids and esters. So we're going to add 2 more into this mix. And here we go. Oh, sorry, I'm dropping and throwing stuff while I just get on the video. Okay. Okay, so I think I'm ready now. Let's go ahead and do this. It's like you're really in class with me. Okay, so a carboxyl group is a carbonyl, which is what we saw in aldehydes and ketones. We saw that's a double bonded oxygen, but it also has an OH. So it has like an aldehyde, but also an alcohol mixed in and so it's hydroxyl. A hydroxyl and a carboxyl, and that's where we get this carboxylic acid from. Now this is how we write it when we're writing it out. Carbon, double bonded oxygen, attached to an OH. You will see them sometimes write it COOH. You may see it written like that. It is the exact same thing. It's just a simplified way of writing it. All right, so the carboxyl group is always carbon 1, which is nothing new. Anytime we see these special groups, we always count closest to them. Well, this one will just always be on the end, right? This carbon's always on the end, and we always OOH, OOH, OOH. Now you can see the names down here. It's always oic acid, so instead of methane, we have methane, and you take that E off like we always do, and then add oic acid. So there's 1 carbon, methanoic. Here's 2 carbons, ethanoic acid. Here's 3 carbons, propionic acid. Now they're showing you some of those common names. Remember we learned in the last chapter that form also means 1. So formic acid, acetic acid, and propionic acid are also some names. Now you can name them either one, I don't care. I think a lot of kids stick with the top one because that's what we've been learning and that's what we're used to. But if you see it like on a worksheet, I don't want you to like freak out that, oh, what's formic acid? Well, form means it's the same thing as methanoic. All right, so here's some of the sources that these come from. When I hear these acids, I automatically think of insects because there are some beetles and stuff that can spray these acids out. But methanoic or formic acid, ant and bee stings. Ethanoic is like a vinegar. Propionic is dairy products. And butanoic or butyric acid would be like rancid butter, like old butter. And, well, before I go, notice COOH, 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 COOH. They all have that. All right, so I just told you we've seen them with these names. You're taking that E off like we always do, like methane, take the E off, and you're adding oic acid. We can use those common names, that form, acete, propion, and butyr. We saw that a second ago. So you can see where they took that E off, oic acid. E off, oic acid. They did that for all of them. Pentanoic, hexanoic, heptanoic acid. All right? Or formic, acetic, propion, or butyr, same thing. All right, numbering these things, you are always, like I said, this is always going to be carbon number 1 right here. All right, so 1, 2, 3, there's a methyl group. So 3-methyl butanoic acid. So that's an example of how to name that. So let's do it ourselves. So here, 1, 2, there are 2 carbons, which is F. So I would just write and instead of the E, I'm going to write oic acid, ethanoic acid, or acetic. I know that acete also means 2. Now this is 1, 2, 3, so prop. And instead of propane, I'm going to take that E off and add oic acid. And on carbon 2, I have a methyl. So 2-methyl propionic acid, or you could say 2-methyl propionic acid. I just like propionic acid better. All right, so that's all for the acids right now. Now we're going to look at esters. So in an ester, it's a lot like what we just did. This is why they put these 2 groups together. Instead of COOH, we now have COOC. and that's going to be an ester. Now, if this gets confusing, because it seems like we're getting a lot of different ones all at once, remember you have that sheet, that special sheet, and I'll try to attach it to this. I'll try to remember to do that, and use that as you need to. Use it if you need to. All right, so now we have another alkyl group. So this is my ester group. So even here, COO, and then another C. All right, so we have an acid, and then we have what they call the alcohol part. So to name this, name the carbon chain from the acid with ATE ending. So this is how I say it. I always say, name your oxygen side first. You will hear me say that over and over again. The kids in class will probably get tired of hearing me say it, because I want to make sure you know how to name this. All right, so name your oxygen. What I mean is on your long chain here, name your oxygen side first. This is methyl. This is ethyl. When you go to name this, it's going to be methyl, and then ethane, and instead of ethane, you're going to take the E off and add O8. Methyl ethanoate. We also know that eth could be acete. We learned that. That is another common form, so it could be methyl acetate also. You can choose whichever way you feel comfortable naming it. I am not too concerned with which way you want to. All right, so Ester Products. We see this in aspirin. If you look here, we have where is it? COOH, but then we also have like COC, COOC, oil of wintergreen. So we're talking things that soothe your muscles. I can almost smell like that smell of, what am I thinking of? The stuff you rub on your muscles. I can't even think of the name right now. But it's like I can already smell it. I can't think of the name, but I can think of the smell. It reduces inflammation. It's soothing sore muscles. So esters tend to be in those products. In plants, we get some fragrances, flavors. So you can see where pears, bananas, oranges. You can see all the COOC. Look at this. This is, so remember, I will always say name the oxygen side first. Propyl, ethanoate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Name your oxygen side first. Pentyl, ethanoate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Octyl, ethanoate. And you can see they have the words there. All right, so I could keep doing that. They have them oxygen side first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pentyl. 1, 2, 3, 4. Butanoate. All right, so just some chances to do naming. So it says, give the common names of the following compound, which is responsible for the flavor and odor of pear. So name your oxygen side first. Here's your oxygen. So propyl, and then F, because there's two of them, and end it in O8. Propyl ethanoate is going to be your answer. Now the common name would be acetate, propyl acetate. Like I said, either one. You can use either one that you want. I just want to make sure that if you see propyl acetate on a homework, you know what that is. It means 2. All right, now we're going to draw them. So I'm going to show you how I go about drawing these. As soon as I say oic acid, I do this. That's going to be my oic acid. Now how many carbons do I need? I need bute, I need 4, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I always work backwards on this. And then on carbon 3, I have a bromo. 1, 2, 3. There's my bromine. And everybody, there's my hydrogens. All right, so that's how I do it. I do my COOH first, then work from there. All right, now when I see O8, when I see that that is an ester, this is what I do. I go ahead and I draw that, because that's what makes it an ester, that COOC. Now, the ethyl, remember, name your oxygen side first. So this came from my oxygen side, and that means 2. So here's my oxygen side. I'm going to add another carbon. I'm not going to add 2 because I already had 1 there. So 1, 2. And now the other side is prop. So 1, 2, 3. All right, so it's a little bit trickier when you're drawing these. I feel like drawing are always easier, but these can get kids sometimes because they're a little bit trickier. So there it is. All right, esterification. If you want to stop here, because I won't do this with them. I won't do it all in one day. This will be for the next day. I'll go over esterification with them. So if you want to stop and want to do this tomorrow, that's fine. Or if you just are like, let me just plug along and get it done, that's also okay. But like I said, in class, the kids will not get this until the next day. So in esterification, what you have is you have a carboxylic acid and an alcohol. And when these carboxylic acids and alcohols come together, they want to make water. So what you get is you get OH and that hydrogen make H2O. Now I could have circled this OH and that hydrogen, doesn't matter, but you're getting H2O from these things, okay? When that happens, these disappear. This is gone. Okay, those are gone. They made some H2O, and this carbon comes and connects to that oxygen. Now you have COOC, you made an ester, and that's why it's called esterification. All right, so when I rewrite this thing, you can CH3, CH3, C, there's my double bonded oxygen. Here's my oxygen right there, CH2, CH3, and there's that water that I made. Okay, so I know it's got a lot going on, so let's look at this. Now here's the kicker. This is what I always tell kids. When they want you to write this out like they're getting ready to have us do, I will always try to make sure that these are facing each other like this. Because if they're not, it gets a little bit trickier. So it says write the equation for the reaction of propionic acid. So as soon as I see acid, I'm like, ooh, okay, that means OH. And it's prop, so there's 3. And methyl alcohol.
If you ordered food
Sorry.
from Cheetos, it is here.
Sorry guys, we'll continue on. And then methyl alcohol. So my alcohol, I'm going to put on the end like that. And it's methyl, so it's just CH3. Okay? Now, the reason I did this, instead of doing this, look, it's hard when you start trying to get the water to go and you've got to connect that oxygen. It makes it more difficult. So I always make sure to have these OHs facing each other. Now then, I am going to take H2O. Okay, that makes some H2O there. And now this carbon is going to come and connect. So when I rewrite this, I'm adding my hydrogens now. So I don't want that to confuse you. And then I'm just going to put that long line so you can see where I'm connecting. You don't have to put that long line there. CH3. All right, I just wanted to show you exactly where that connection was. I could have written it just like this. All right, and it becomes COOC. That is an ester. And that ester is that name. Let's go ahead and name this. Name your oxygen side first. That's methyl. Then name the rest. Methyl propanoate. Okay, just to give us some practice on the name there. All right, and that's it for that. So yeah, a lot of information in this one. I feel like aldehydes, ketones, and then our esters and carboxylic acids. There's quite a bit, like more than maybe what we've seen in previous sections. So let me know if you're needing any extra help or have any questions or anything like that. And you know I will be glad to help you out. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.